And a pleasant good Saturday night, and welcome into the Center Ice Arena in Harrington. I'm Gary Schofield alongside Mikey Basile as we get set for round two of a three-game weekend set between the Delaware Thunder and the Battle Creek Rumblebees. And Mikey, it would be easy to think if you watched the game last night, oh, this should be easy pickings for the Thunder. They put 13 in the net, beat the Rumblebees by 11, a team that's only won one game all season long. But as we were talking before the action started last night, this is a Battle Creek team that had actually been playing much better of late. It was a rather surprising outcome, to, considering the struggles Delaware had over the last month. They end a lengthy losing streak. I wouldn't expect to see a carbon copy of last night tonight. How do you feel?
No, I think you're 100% right, Gary. Watching that game, I was shocked. Joel Eisenhower came out. He made the early mistake. The puck was sent in, chipped around, and they scored an early goal. It just went downhill from there for the Rumblebees, to be quite frank with you. So the Rumblebees needed to get a hot start going yesterday. We talked about that. The hot start's going to be huge for whatever team. Unfortunately for Battle Creek, it wasn't them. Tonight, if they come out, Aaron Taylor maybe makes an early mistake, then it could be the other way around, or whoever it may be making an early mistake. That could be the difference in this game. I think it's going to be much closer than yesterday.
Now for Battle Creek, they get some much-needed scoring back in the lineup tonight as their leading scorer. Ryan Alvis is back from suspension. He leads the team in goals and assists, 11 goals, 16 assists. They've also added a couple more new faces that you'll actually see in the starting lineup tonight. Charles DeBow IV will start up front, and Joseph Brennan, a Philly guy on defense who's got some experience in the FHL, played with Port Huron a couple of years ago, has also been in the SPHL but hasn't laced them up yet this year. He's going to add a little size on the blue line for Battle Creek, so some fresh faces maybe helps them get off to a better start.
Yeah, I think for sure it will. I mean, Battle Creek's looking for answers, and yesterday it was more in the defensive zone. I know they only potted 2 goals, but Gary, you said it. They had a couple of good scoring chances, I thought, the Rumblebees. Aaron Taylor played well yesterday. When it's a 13-2 game, you don't usually look at the winning goalie as playing, as one of the top players on the team. Maybe he wasn't yesterday, obviously. But you swing things around to tonight, there's a lot that could change, and Aaron Taylor can't come into this matchup thinking, hey, I'm looking to keep my goals against low tonight. He's thinking he needs a win because this Delaware team could be on Mentor's heels very quickly if they play like they did yesterday.
Well, absolutely. Another loss for the Icebreakers last night, although it was a close game. Gives Delaware a chance to catch up 3 points last night. And don't forget, the Thunder have 3 games in hand over Mentor as well. So if they can take these 2 wins, that's 6 more points they can put against the Icebreakers as they try to chase down that final playoff spot in the Eastern Division. When we look at the Thunder, again, the 13 goals could be a bit of an anomaly. I mean, you're not going to have that on a night-in, night-out basis. But hard to ignore the fact that the new faces made big impressions in both the play of Darius Davidson and the addition of Christers Bormanis on the line with Evgeny Demin and Anton Kalinin. You can't underscore the fact that, those 2 lines combined to score 11 of the 13 goals, but they had many more scoring chances as well.
Well, I think Christers Bormanis, call me crazy, was the best player on that line yesterday. I was joking with Kalinin before the game. I said, buddy, if I got a pass like that from Christers, I could have scored too. And he said, oh, come on. Well, he might be right. Maybe I wouldn't.
Right.
But what I'm saying is, it was easy for the goal scorers yesterday. It all started way before the goal. Whether it was a great breakout pass that set everything up, a 2-on-1 rush the other way. Christers Bormanis, how many tap-ins for Anton Kalinin last night? Don't get me wrong, Anton played phenomenal, but how many times was he just the recipient of a great feed? Same thing with Darius Davidson. Right off the draw, Thomas Minicello feeds him on the doorstep. 1-0 just like that. It's simple. Yesterday was a playmaking game for Delaware. They were unselfish. They moved the puck well. That's why they scored 13 goals.
Now, I asked Coach Penz this in our pregame interview, if you saw it on our Delaware Thunder Facebook page, about how do you avoid a letdown after having a big win like that last night. And he certainly gave me the textbook coach's answer that, you got to play hard or you're not going to play. But from a player's perspective, I mean, you've been in the locker room before. You've laced them up. You've probably been in a situation where you've put a team on the losing end of a game like that last night, and then the next time they pop up on the schedule, it's just a psychological thing. How do you avoid feeling overconfident coming in tonight if you're the Thunder?
Well, Gary, I'm going to be frank with you. After you beat a team, I was a goaltender. When we beat a team big like that, whether it was 5-0, 7-2, whatever it may be, when you beat a team good, you're kind of thinking, all right, how am I going to get my save percentage up tonight? How am I going to do that? Because I don't know how much rubber I'm going to see. These guys can't be thinking that. Delaware, we know, is a team that's had their struggles, their bumps in their first season. yesterday was probably one of the best games we've seen them play all season. And you'll have people say, well, it was Battle Creek, this, that. But I don't think that's the case. I think Delaware came together yesterday. I think Darius Davidson's a huge addition. Anton Kalinin back with his line mates. Now him and Bormanis, Demon are clicking. I think that's huge. They have a solid checking third line that'll do a lot of damage as well. This team could go places in my mind if they can keep those top two lines.
Dunford in the slot scores! Brian Dunford beat Eisenhower over the glove hand, and the Thunder are up 2-0.
Brian Dunford gets to the high slot, makes no mistake over the glove of Joel Eisenhower. He's having a laugh. That's his third goal of the season for Dunford, and it's 2-0 Thunder.
You know, and you talk about key acquisitions. We've mentioned Darius Davidson, obviously, Christers Bormanis. Dunford's a guy that was brought in about 16 games ago to help out on the blue line. He's been forced into playing center at times, and he's done whatever the team's asked of him, and he's excelled in every area, and it's nice to see him put one in between the pipes there.
Right, and he had those two in Watertown, and he was getting some jokes from the bench that now he's a big goal scorer on this team. Dunford's definitely more known for being a physical guy. He'll run around, and he'll play a solid game. He's very reliable. Not usually known for his goal scoring, but he's got 3 this season.
Debin with a stretch.
Trying to get through.
Municello dumps it into the Battle Creek zone. Davidson gets to it, and he scores! Darius Davidson from a tough angle beats Joel Eisenhower to the short side, and 2 more for Darius Davidson tonight. That's 6 in 2 games, and the Thunder are up 3-0.
How good was that from Thomas Municello? It's almost like a soccer play. You go find some space, have your forward chase it down, and Davidson, another goal scorer's goal off the post and in, a thing of beauty.
The Thunderdome, I'm Gary Schofield alongside Mike Basile as we get you set for a night of Federal Hockey League action between the Eastern Division leading Danbury Hat-Tricks and the cellar-dwelling Delaware Thunder. Although the last time the Hat-Tricks were here, Mikey, that's the last time the Thunder came out victorious. They've lost 7 straight since.
Well, this Delaware Thunder team seems to match up against some teams pretty well, and this Hat-Tricks team is a team they do match up pretty well against. They have some size, Delaware, obviously, and it seems like Danbury uses the size to their advantage a lot of time. You see them beat Carolina. Carolina's not a very physical team. They're a very skilled, fast-moving team. Danbury's going to do well against a team like that because they're going to throw the body around. Delaware, they can't do that. They can't throw the body around. Eric Masters, Taylor Cutting, Kieran Devine, Charlie Pence, Alex Basie back in the lineup, Patrick Tundle back in the lineup tonight. This team is not going to be able to throw the body around like they were used to last weekend when Carolina was in town. We'll see how it plays out tonight. We know Delaware's missing some offensive forwards up front. A big missing piece, Anton Kalinin tonight.
Yeah, and actually now as it stands, he's Delaware's leading scorer. So you take him out of the mix. We're talking about a team that's averaged just under 2 goals a game during this 7-game losing streak. Where do they find the offense tonight?
They gotta dig deep. They gotta get some defensive scoring. I think the defense has to step up. You saw Charlie Penn score in Danville. You look around a little bit. Who can do it? Who's going to score? I look to Brennan Young. Brennan Young's a player that has a ton of skill. I love for him to get to that top of the circle and put a shot towards the cage. He's got a quick wrist shot. The chances of the goalie being able to stop it and even then find the rebound or figure out where it is, that's tough if the original shot doesn't go past him. I also look to Evgeny Demon. He's been a little cold of late. They need him to be much better.
He'll be starting on the dot tonight for the Thunder. We'll get you the full starting lineups in just a moment. But speaking of goaltenders, the Hat-Tricks get their top goaltender back today. Thomas McGuckin returns from the SPHL. He'll get the start in between the pipes tonight. When he got loaned to the SPHL, he led the FHL with 12 victories. So what's the key to trying to get the puck past him?
You got to shots early, lots of shots early. Take away the eyes of Thomas McGuckin. He is a great goaltender, much like Aaron Taylor. If he sees it, good chance it's going to get stopped. He's a goalie. You put the shots on low, you crash the net, you go for rebounds. He stops a lot of things from outside the circle. Obviously, the SP call-up was huge for him. Just got returned from a low from Fayetteville today. So he's ready to go. He's ready to play. He was probably thinking he was going to play in the SP tonight. So now he's back in the Federal Hockey League. We'll see what he can do tonight here. But Delaware's got to get shots on early, something they struggled against Saturday in Danville. Friday, they looked good, the Thunder, for, I would say, a good 47 minutes.
Offense will not be an issue for the Danbury Hat-Tricks. They have been scoring at will, averaging nearly 5 goals per game, and they are led by their top line. Carter Shinkarik has 16 points in his last 6 games. His line mate, Shane Morrissey, 7 goals, 10 assists. They used to play together in Evansville. Shane's only been with the hat tricks for 8 games. And then Casper Dearson that rounds out that line. He's got a 6-game point streak where he's put together 13 points on 6 goals and 7 assists.
It's no secret. Danbury's got 3 lines that could play. And it starts with Carter Shinkarek. He is an absolutely phenomenal player. You drop down a little bit. They have 7 players with 20-plus points. Not many teams can say they have that. They had the call-ups. You know, Ruiz was gone for a bit.
Right.
Shinkarek was gone for a bit. These guys haven't even played all their games in the FHL, and they're 20-plus point players. A player they have to slow down tonight is Carter Shinkarek. I mean, the problem is you can't slow him down. You just got to find a way to at least hold him to maybe 1 point tonight because he's such a dynamic player. He sees the ice well. He's quick. He's crafty. He's got some size to him. And my favorite player on this Danbury Hat Trick team's got to be Johnny Ruiz. Love the way he plays. He moves the puck so well. Nikola Levesque, also a great player. When him and Ruiz are on a line together, they're very dangerous.
And, you know, the list goes on and on. You have Kasich, you have Gavrik. I don't even think we mentioned Phil Bronner, and then
or Gordy Bonnell.
Bonnell, who had a great weekend when Danbury was in town just a few weeks ago. When you look at the Thunder team, I know that we've talked about maybe the lack of potency up front, but they get some help on the blue line tonight. The return of Alex Basile from injury. He's been missing since the 10th game of the season. He'll be paired up, we think, with Daniel DeCristofaro because the captain, Charlie Pence, is going to start on the blue line tonight with Kieran Devine.
Right, and that, in my opinion, Charlie Pence, Kieran Devine, that's going to be your shutdown pair. Those two are so solid in the defensive zone. When I look at Dan DeCristofaro, I look at more of an offensive defenseman. Obviously, 20 points for DeCristofaro. He's got a ton of skill, and offensively, he's very good. Nothing lackluster at all in the defensive zone, but Dan DeCristofaro definitely more known for his offensive style of play.
And then Bronner will dump in for a line change for the hat tricks.
It was a good play right off the bat by Charlie Pence. He got caught for a second, got back, lifted the stick of Johnny Ruiz, and it was good enough to turn it away. Here comes Mac.
McIntosh across the blue line into the circle. He'll shoot, score! Evan McIntosh buries it on the first shot of the night, and the Thunder are up 1-0.
Exactly what Delaware needed. Evan McIntosh to get the scoring started. It's 1-0. He looked a bit surprised, but it was an absolutely perfect shot by the veteran Evan McIntosh, and it's 1-0 Delaware.
Danbury trailing 1-0.
Right, and you have to remember when a player's that close to the boards, they turn, and then the push in. Any type of push in that close is dangerous.
Johnny Ruiz winds and fires and beats Aaron Taylor over the right shoulder, just underneath the crossbar, and just like that on a power play tally from Johnny Ruiz, his 18th of the year. The hat tricks have tied this game at 1.
Well, right on cue in the open, we talked about Johnny Ruiz, how dangerous he is, and that's an absolutely bomb of a shot from Johnny Ruiz. I think there was a partial screen set up by Charlie Pence there and over the blocker of Aaron Taylor.
That was